Namaste and welcome everyone. Today I'm going to take you through one of the most spiritual and breathtaking journey you could ever imagine, the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra from Kathmandu via the Kyirong border by road. This video is going to be a complete guide. Day by day details, distances, what to expect, accommodation, food, health precaution, Parikarma details, additional cost and tips that you won't find in most process. Whether you are already planning your yatra or just curious about what it is like, stick with me till the end because by the time you finish, you will feel like you have already traveled the entire route. Today's briefing is purely focused on what happens once you start from Kathmandu. Now let's begin from the very start. On day 1, your journey begins with a drive from Kathmandu towards the Nepal-Tibet border. From the city, you head towards the border town of Timure. In peak travel season, especially around the full moon, finding room right at Timure can be difficult. In that case, you may stay in Zutulphuk, which is about 15 kilometers before the border. The advantage of Zutulphuk is that it offers more hotel and guest houses, generally with better comfort compared to staying directly at the border area. You start your drive around 8 am in the morning. The distance from Kathmandu to the border is about 125 to 130 kilometers, but because the route winds through the mountain road, it might also take around 6 hours. On the way, you stop for lunch and by late afternoon, you reach either Zutulphuk or Timure, depending on the hotel availability. Once there, you check in into your hotels or guest house, settle in and rest for the night. That's the end of the day 1. On day 2, after breakfast, the plan depends on where you stayed. If you spend the night in Zutulphuk, you will drive to Timure. If you stayed in Timure, you will head straight to the Nepal side immigration office. Here you will go through the exit process getting your passport stamped to officially leave Nepal. Only after this you can proceed towards the Tibetan side. The immigration process can take time, especially if there are a lot of pilgrims. That's common during the full moon period. After your passport is stamped, you will return briefly to the guest house or hotel to see how much time you have before heading back to the border itself. Depending on how busy the border is, the immigration process on Tibet side can vary a lot. On quiet day, it might take just 1 to 2 hours. That's the minimum. On average, expect 2 to 3 hours, and during the busy full moon period it can easily take more than 3 hours. It all depends on how many travelers are crossing on that particular day, so patience is key here. If immigration takes longer, you might have lunch before moving forward. If it is completed quickly, you will proceed straight towards the border. Just before crossing into Tibet, you pass through the Nepal custom, where officer will check your handbags and conduct a quick body check. Once that's done, you move on to the Tibetan side, and that's where the next stage of your journey begins. Once you have crossed the Tibetan border, your Tibetan guide will be waiting for you. You will be greeted with warm Tibetan hospitality and escorted to the parking area. From there, you will board on your bus and begin a 35-kilometer drive to the town of Kyirong. This takes about 1 hour and offers a beautiful view along the way. Kyirong is a green, rapidly developing town nestled at elevation of about 2,850 meters. Tonight, you stay here. On the third day, you will stay in Kyirong. This day is set aside entirely for the acclimatization to the high altitude. This is an important step to help your body adjust and to make the rest of the journey comfortable. Take a gentle walk around the town to get acquainted with your surroundings and ease into the altitude. While you are out and about to taste some local Tibetan cuisine such as thukpa, momo, or distinctive yak patati, which offers the taste of region-rich culinary tradition, this is also a good time to shop for any essential you might need for the days ahead. And if your visit coincides with the festival season, you might be lucky enough to witness vibrant local cultural performance, adding a special touch to your experience. And rest in the hotel in Kyirong. On the fourth day, after having relaxed breakfast, you will pack your bags and enjoy early lunch before continuing your journey from Kyirong to Saga. The drive covers approximately 160 kilometers and takes around 3 to 4 hours. Since Saga sits at an elevation of 4,500 meters, nearly 1,700 meters higher than Kyirong, it is important to ascend gradually. That's why we recommend spending extra time at lower altitude like Kyirong to help your body adjust comfortably to the higher elevation ahead. During the journey to Saga, you will cross the majestic Brahmaputra River, one of the most iconic rivers in the region. There will be brief stops along the way so you can enjoy the stunning views and take in the beauties of the landscape. Upon reaching Saga, you will check into your hotels where our team will have dinner prepared for you. Afterwards, you can unwind and rest, allowing your body to continue acclimatizing in the preparation for days to come. On the fifth day, the journey begins early with the breakfast served around 7 a.m. local time. After finishing breakfast and getting prepared, you will set off from Saga towards the sacred lake Mansarovar. The total distance to be covered is approximately 450 kilometers and the drive may take around 10 to 12 hours depending on road condition. Along the way, you will stop for a simple picnic-style lunch surrounded by the vast and scenic landscape of Tibetan plateau. By late afternoon, around 5 or 6 p.m., you will arrive at Lake Mansarovar, one of the holiest sites in Tibetan culture. Upon arrival, you can enjoy a cup of tea or light snacks while soaking in the scenery beauty of the lake. For the night, you will stay at guest houses near the lake where you can rest and prepare for the next spiritual and adventurous journey. On the sixth day, you will begin early in the morning to perform rituals at sacred lake Mansarovar. Many pilgrims prefer to fast until their morning puja, so instead of separate meals, we will arrange a combined brunch at around 11 a.m. You will wake up at 7 a.m., giving you plenty of time to go to the lake and carry out your spiritual rituals in peace. While bathing directly in the lake is allowed by Tibetan authorities, we will provide a shower tent where you can use the water from the lake for a symbolic bath. After completing your puja and spiritual activities, you will enjoy a brunch and then proceed to the Darchen. The drive to Darchen takes you higher in elevation, reaching approximately 4,700 meters, an increase of about 150 meters from Mansarovar. From Saga onwards, the altitude gain is gradual, allowing for better acclimatization. Once you reach Darchen, you will check into your hotels and have some time to rest. For those interested, an optional site to Astapad is available. This sacred site is about 10 to 15 kilometers from Darchen and takes roughly 3 hours to complete by vehicle. The cost is 500 Chinese yuan per person. On this excursion, you will witness breathtaking views of Nandi Parvat, the south face of Mount Kailash, visit a monastery and see Selangompa, the final accessible point of the Astapad journey. After returning to your hotel in Darchen, dinner will be served and the evening will focus on health checks. Our team will assess every individual condition including blood pressure and oxygen level to determine who is fit to proceed to the Kailash Parikarma. For those who aren't recommended to join the Parikarma, we arrange a drive to Yamadwar so they can visit and offer prayers before returning to the Darchen. Then they will stay in Darchen for next 2 nights, awaiting the return of the rest of the group. On day 7, you will begin the day with breakfast at around 8 a.m. and get ready to leave by 9 a.m. From Darchen, you will drive approximately 10 kilometers to Yamadwar, the starting point of the sacred Kailash Parikarma. Those who aren't continuing the Parikarma will begin the first leg of the trek from Yamadwar to Deraphuk. This part of the journey covers about 12 kilometers and takes you from altitude of 4,700 meters at Yamadwar to 5,180 meters at Deraphuk. The trail on the first day is relatively moderate and is considered easier to compare to the second day of the Parikrama. Most of the path is a flat with a slight gradual incline, making it more manageable for most people. Physically fit trekkers may complete a walk in about 4 to 5 hours, while those with average fitness might take between 6 to 7 hours. For slower walker or those who take more frequent breaks, the trek will take you up to 8 hours or more. Along the way, there are at least 2 tea houses where you can rest and purchase water, hot drinks or light snacks. The first tea house is around 2 kilometers into the trek and the second is about 4 kilometers further. These provide convenient spots to pause, hydrate and refuel. Despite the easier terrain, reaching Deraphuk at 5,180 meters means you are staying at high altitude, where symptoms of altitude sickness such as shortness of breath, nausea or headache can occur. It's important to stay warm, drink plenty of fluids, eat regularly, and listen to your body as you adjust to the elevation. As you approach Deraphuk, you will be rewarded with an incredible close-up view of the north face of Mount Kailash, an inspiring moment for many pilgrims. After reaching Deraphuk, you will rest and stay overnight, giving your body time to recover and acclimatize before the more challenging second day of the Parikrama. On day 8, you will begin your trek early in the morning around 6 a.m., departing from Deraphuk and heading towards Zutulphuk. This is the most challenging and spiritually significant day of the entire Kailash Parikrama, covering approximately 22 kilometers in total. The first 6 kilometers of the trek involves a steep ascent towards the highest point of the Parikrama, Dolama Pass, which stands at an elevation of 5,670 meters. Although the trail itself is moderately difficult, the high altitude makes it physically and mentally demanding. It is important to stay motivated, hydrated and take steady steps as you climb. About 2 kilometers into the ascent, you will find a tea house where you can take a short break, grab some warm drinks or buy water and snacks. Once you reach the Dolama Pass, you will be rewarded with breathtaking views, including glimpse of sacred Gauri Kund just about 100 meters downhill from the pass. After crossing the pass, the descent is quite steep for next 3 kilometers, leading to another tea house at the base of the descent. From this point onwards, the trail becomes significantly easier. The final leg is a 12 12-kilometer walk to Zutulphuk, mostly flat and much more manageable. Along this stretch, you will find several tea houses where you can stop for refreshment and rest as you need. The time it takes to complete this day trek can vary greatly based on individual fitness level. Fast walker may finish in 8 to 9 hours, those with moderate fitness in 10 to 12 hours, while slower trekkers may take 15 to 16 hours or more. It's a long and adjusting day, so pacing yourself is crucial. Once you arrive in Zutulphuk, you will check into your guest house or the night. Our team will be there to welcome you with a hot meal and provide any support you need. After dinner, you can rest and recover from what it is often considered the toughest yet most rewarding day of the entire pilgrimage. On day 9, you will begin your day early around 6 am with a short and relatively easy trek from Zutulphuk to Darchen. The trail covers approximately 8 kilometers and typically takes about 1.5 to 2 hours to complete. Once you arrive in Darchen, our vehicle will pick you and take you to the hotel or guest house, where a well-deserved breakfast will be served. After some rest, checkout procedure, and final preparation, you will begin the long drive back to Saga, a journey of approximately 10 to 12 hours. Along the way, you will stop for a scenic picnic lunch. You are expected to arrive in Saga between 6 or 7 pm. Upon arrival, you check into your hotels, enjoy dinner, and rest for the night. On day 10, after breakfast around 8 am, you will depart from Saga and drive towards Kyirong. The drive takes approximately 3 to 4 hours, offering a more relaxed travel day after a strenuous day of trekking. Once there, you check into hotels and have the remaining of the day free to rest, relax, or explore the town at your leisure. Compared to the high altitude region you have just traveled through, your stay in Kyirong will offer noticeable relief. You will likely find it easier to breathe, rest, and sleep, and your appetite may also return, making this a comfortable and relaxing stop before heading back to Nepal. On day 11, after an early breakfast, you will begin your journey back to Nepal by driving to Raswagari border. The border crossing typically takes 2 to 3 hours, though it can vary depending on how many groups are crossing on the same day. If it's busy, you may experience some delays, but on quieter days, the process may take little as 1 to 2 hours. Once you have crossed the Tibetan border, you will proceed to Timure, where you will complete the immigration process at the Nepal border checkpoint and receive your arrival stamp. After finishing all the necessary formalities, you will enjoy lunch in Timure before continuing drive back to the Kathmandu. Let's talk about one of the most important and often overlooked aspects of Kailash Mansarovar Yatra accommodation. Now, it's important to understand that this is not a luxury trip. While some locations offer comfortable lodging, others are extremely basic, and being mentally prepared to adjust and adapt is the best part of the experience. In fact, the challenges of the journey aren't only physical and spiritual, but also logistical, especially when it comes to accommodation and available facility. You will start on the Nepal side in Timure or Safrupesi, where the guest houses are simple but decent. Most rooms come with the attached bathroom, and you will usually share with 2 or 3 people. Beds are basic but clean and comfortable, with twin sharing and triple sharing setup depending on group size. Once you cross the border into Tibet and reach Kyirong, you will be pleasantly surprised. The accommodation here are actually quite good, comparable to what you might find in mid-range hotel in Kathmandu. Rooms are shared between 2 or 3 people with attached bathroom and better amenities. And the good news, new hotels are being built in, so the standards are steadily improving. Next, you will head to Saga, and once again you will find relatively comfortable guest houses or hotels like in Kyirong. You will stay in Kyirong, you will have twin or triple sharing room, and everything is fairly organized. But things begin to change when you reach Lake Mansarovar. This is where accommodation takes a dip. You will stay in basic guest houses with 4 to 5 people sharing a room. It gets a bit. From Mansarovar, you head to Darchen, and the comfort level improves again. Here, the accommodation is similar to Saga and with decent hotels with twin sharing room and attached bathroom. This is one of the last comfortable stays before you begin the Parikarma. And now comes the most challenging part of the accommodation journey: Deraphuk and Zutulphuk, the stops along the Kailash Parikarma. In both of these locations, the guest houses are very basic, and you will be likely be sharing a room with 4 to 5 people. In Deraphuk, water is scarce and there is no toilet facilities, so keep your expectation very low. Zutulphuk is slightly better in terms of water, but the toilet facilities are still the same. In both places, many people end up using open spaces for nature call, which is common at this altitude and terrain. That's why we recommend carrying wet wipes, toilet tissues, and hand sanitizer for personal hygiene during these critical days. After completing the Parikrama, you will return to Saga and stay in Kyirong, where you will once again enjoy the more comfortable accommodation with better facilities, bringing a welcome end to the toughest part of the journey. Let's talk about something that's absolutely essential during the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra: food and health. These two factors play a huge role in how well you cope up with the journey, especially in high altitude region. Starting with food, once your journey begins from Kathmandu to Timure or Saffrovesi, your meals will be provided at local restaurant along the way. From the very beginning of the trip, all food served is strictly pure vegetarian, and if you follow a Jain vegetarian diet, we can arrange that too upon request. On the Nepal side, food is generally served at established hotel and there is no need for our kitchen team to cook. However, once you cross the border into Tibet, our kitchen team takes over. From that point, we provide 3 freshly cooked vegetarian meals each day, along with tea or coffee in the evening. Breakfast typically includes items like poha, paratha, puri, bread, fruits, and sometimes roti, depending on the availability and group preferences. Lunch and dinner are North Indian style meals. You can expect rice, dal, vegetable, roti, achar, salad, and seasonal fruit. We often consult with the groups to understand preference and adjust the menu accordingly. During the Parikrama, food logistics become more challenging due to the high altitude and remote terrain. On this day, you will receive packed lunch which is easily digestible and readily available. These are chosen specifically to be lightweight, nutritious, and suitable for the altitude. You can also carry high energy snacks like energy bars, dry food, biscuits, and nuts. Once you arrive at Deraphuk and Zutulphuk, our meals become more simplified due to the cooking limits at the altitude. You will receive warm and easily digestible food like khichdi, soup, popcorn, and fruits. These meals are designed to be lightweight on the stomach but rich in nutrients to help your body cope up with the elevation. Now let's move on to the second and equally important topic, your health. The Kailash Yatra is physically and mentally demanding. It's absolutely crucial to prepare yourself well in advance. We strongly encourage all the travelers to engage in regular physical activities or walking exercise before the trip and to mentally prepare for the challenges ahead, especially the lack of luxury and the minimal facility available in the remote part of the Tibet. One of the biggest health concerns on this trip is altitude sickness. Once you ascend above 3,500 meters, the oxygen level drops significantly and many people start to feel symptoms such as headache, nausea, dizziness, shortness of breath, and even vomiting. This usually begins once you reach places like Saga, which sit at an elevation of around 4,500 meters. There is no specific cure for altitude sickness, so prevention is key. That means drinking plenty of water, eating regularly, and avoiding daytime sleep so you can rest better at night. Keeping your body active during the day helps with the oxygen circulation, and proper nutrients give you the energy needed to adapt to high elevation. If at any point you feel unwell, it's important to immediately inform your guide. Our team is fully equipped with supplemental oxygen cylinder, and most hotels at higher altitude also provide oxygen support. During the Parikrama, you can carry portable oxygen cans for emergency. If symptoms become severe, the most effective solution is to descend to the lower altitude immediately. This is the fastest and safest way to recover from the altitude-related symptoms. In cases of serious health emergency, we can arrange for rescue or evacuation, but please note that any emergency medical cost must be recovered by the individual either out of pocket or through travel insurance. That's why we highly recommend getting proper insurance coverage before your journey begins. Let's now talk in details about one of the most important and spiritual part of the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, the Parikrama or the Kora around Mount Kailash. The Parikrama is a 3-day trek covering a distance of approximately 42 kilometers from Yamadwar to Darchen. This trek is not just physically demanding but also spiritually rewarding, and proper preparation is essential. Before you begin your Parikrama, we will provide you with a duffel bag, a small backpack, and a warm jacket, all from our side. The duffel bag is for packaging your cloth, which you will leave at your hotel in Darchen, and the backpack is for your essential items during the trek. We will also be making a separate video to go into details about the packaging list, so we won't cover that here. During the Parikrama, you should carry only what's necessary, such as water, snacks, a packed lunch, chargers, gloves, a hat, and a personal essential, and avoid taking heavy loads or too many clothes. Bathing or changing clothes is unrecommended during the Parikrama due to the cold temperature and high elevation. When starting from Yamadwar, you have two options: either walk the entire route or hire a pony. Hiring a pony currently costs around 4,000 Chinese yuan for 3 days and includes porter who will carry your backpack. But please note that once you hire the pony, the cost is non-refundable and non-transferable. You must use it for yourself or cancel it without refund. For those who wish to walk but prefer not to carry their backpack, there is an option to hire porter only, which costs approximately 1,500 yuan. However, porter will only carry one bag that must not exceed 4 kg. They will refuse to carry bags heavier than that. This is why it is crucial to pack light and only carry what you absolutely need. On day 1 of the Parikrama, you will walk approximately 12 km to reach Deraphuk. Those on pony can complete this in 4 to 5 hours. Walkers may take longer depending on fitness level. The trail on the first day is relatively moderate and mostly flat. On day 2, you will trek from Deraphuk to Zutulphuk, the most challenging part of the entire journey. Those with pony will ride from Deraphuk to Dolama Pass, the highest point at 5,670 meters. But here is an important detail. Once you reach the pass, you must walk down about 3 km to the tea house at the base. For safety reasons, horses aren't allowed to carry riders during the descent, as it can be steep and dangerous. After reaching the tea house, you can again ride the horse for the remaining 12 kilometers to Zutulphuk. On day 3, those with pony will ride from Zutulphuk back to Darchen, where vehicle will be waiting for you to take back to your hotel. For walkers, the trail on this last day is relatively short, about 8 kilometers, and can be completed under 2 hours. Now let's talk about emergency or return option. If at any point you feel unwell, especially due to high altitude like from Deraphuk to Darchen, you can choose to return. You have two options: walk back or hire and rescue vehicle. A private vehicle from Deraphuk to Darchen costs around 2,000 yuan, while share option is about 500 yuan per person. Similarly, if you are descending from Dolama Pass and feel you can't continue, you can hire a rescue vehicle from the tea house. In this case, the cost is approximately 3,000 yuan for private hire or 800 yuan on sharing basis. Most people in such cases choose to return directly to Darchen rather than to continue to Zutulphuk. Keep in mind that if you do return early and skip a night either at Deraphuk or Zutulphuk, the cost of additional accommodation in Darchen will be extra. Since your stay was already booked and paid at the original guest houses, the current additional cost in Darchen ranges from 250 to 400 yuan per person, and this may be vary depending on the season and room availability. So that's a complete breakdown of Kailash Parikarma journey, from what to carry, how to plan your trek, and the options available if you need support or need to return. The Parikarma is not only the test of physical endurance, but also a deeply transformative experience. With right mindset, proper preparation, and support, you will come away with the memories that will stay with you for a lifetime.